Have you ever waited for the perfect moment to start investing? The market feels too high, so you wait for a dip. Then the dip arrives, everything sounds terrifying, and you wait for the dust to settle. Meanwhile, the months keep passing, and your money keeps sitting perfectly still. Today, I want to show you why people who stop guessing and simply buy a little on a schedule tend to end up ahead of the people who wait. Not lucky people, patient ones. And I want to be honest about what this approach cannot do, because it is not magic and you deserve the whole picture, not just the half that sells. Stay to the end because the limits matter as much as the promise. Meet Dana. Dana is 34, works full-time as a dental assistant, and is genuinely careful with money. After rent, groceries, insurance, and a small monthly contribution to an emergency fund, about $300 is left over each month. No inheritance, no side hustle empire, just a steady paycheck. That money is meant for investing. But for 2 whole years, it has been sitting in a checking account, earning almost nothing, because Dana keeps circling one question. Is now a good time to buy? $300 a month, 24 months, more than $7,000 standing on the sidelines. Every headline gives a different answer. One warns that a historic crash is just around the corner. Another insists the market is about to run away without you. So Dana waits, and the idle cash quietly piles up. If you have ever done this, you are not foolish. Guessing wrong feels terrible, so waiting feels responsible. But waiting has a price of its own. It is just quieter, and nobody sends you a bill for it. Here is a picture that might help, and it will carry us through this whole video. Imagine you need to collect rainwater for a garden, and there are 2 ways to do it. You could study the weather forecasts and rush outside with buckets only when a big storm is predicted. It feels clever, it feels active, and it depends entirely on the forecast being right, which it often is not. Or you could set a barrel under the corner of your roof and simply leave it there, catching every shower, big or small, month after month, all year long. One choice runs on adrenaline, the other on patience. Here is the problem with chasing storms. Forecasts are wrong all the time, and some of the heaviest downpours arrive without any warning, often on days that started out grey and unpromising. The barrel is boring. It never makes the news, and nobody brags about owning one. But it stands outside every single day, so it never misses a drop. Steady investing is the barrel. The official name for this strategy is dollar cost averaging, and behind the technical label, it means something refreshingly simple. You invest the same amount of money at regular intervals, no matter what the market is doing. $300 on the first of every month, for example, going into the same broadly diversified fund. Whether prices are up, down, or drifting sideways, the money goes in on schedule. That is the entire strategy. No forecasts, no headlines, no gut feelings, and no waiting for a perfect moment that may never announce itself. If it sounds too plain to work, that plainness is exactly the point. Now for the quiet math trick hiding inside it. When you invest a fixed dollar amount, you automatically buy more shares when prices are low and fewer shares when prices are high. Watch it happen. Dana puts $100 into a fund each month for 3 months. In the first month, the price is $10 a share, so $100 buys exactly 10 shares. Simple so far. In the second month, the market stumbles and the price falls to $5. The same $100 now buys 20 shares. The month that felt the scariest quietly bought the most. In the third month, the price climbs back to $8 and the $100 buys 12.5 shares. Nothing dramatic, just the plan continuing. Now add it all up. Dana spent $300 and owns 42.5 shares, which works out to an average cost of about $7.06 per share. But the average market price across those 3 months was about $7.67. Dana paid less than the average price without predicting a single thing. The dip everyone feared did the heavy lifting. That advantage came from the schedule itself. So why not skip the schedule and just buy the dips on purpose? Because dips only look obvious in the rearview mirror. In the moment, a dip looks exactly like the start of a crash, and a recovery looks exactly like a trap. Hindsight draws the arrows, real time never does. And here is the part most people never hear from the confident voices online. The market's best days tend to arrive in the middle of its worst stretches. It sounds backwards, but the data keeps showing it. Big up days and big down days cluster tightly together, the way the heaviest rain and the strongest wind arrive inside the very same storm. If fear keeps your money on the sidelines through the ugly weeks, you will very likely miss the sharpest recoveries too, because they tend to strike while the news still feels awful. Nobody rings a bell when the turn comes. By the time headlines feel safe and cheerful again, the biggest part of the bounce is usually already behind you. How much can a few missed days really matter? One widely cited study looked at the 20 years ending in 2022, a stretch of roughly 5,000 trading days. $10,000 left fully invested in a broad United States stock index grew to roughly $64,000 over those 2 decades. No trading, no timing, just staying put. Missing just the 10 best days, 10 days out of 5,000, cut the final result to roughly $29,000, less than half. Same fund, same 20 years, wildly different ending. And nobody, not the experts, not the algorithms, can tell you in advance which 10 days those will be. The barrel catches them for one reason only: it is always outside. Now for the honest part, because this channel does not sell magic. Steady buying does not guarantee you a profit. Nothing does. Anyone who promises otherwise is selling something. If the market falls and keeps falling for years, your account will be worth less than what you put in, and buying steadily on the way down will not change that arithmetic. Averaging down softens the fall, it does not cancel it. A barrel cannot make it rain. In a long drought, it stands there nearly empty, and no collecting schedule, however disciplined, will fill it. Steady buying does not protect you from a falling market. What it really does is humbler and more useful. It removes the impossible job of predicting, and it spreads your purchases out, so you never bet everything on one terrible day. That protection against your own worst moment is worth more than any forecast. Most of all, it takes each buying decision away from your emotions and hands it to a calendar. It manages your behavior, not the market. That is its real superpower. One more piece of honesty before we finish the story. If you already have a large lump of cash, research from Vanguard and others found that investing it all at once beat drip-feeding it in roughly 2 out of every 3 historical periods. That is simply because markets rise more often than they fall, so money tends to do better in than out. Dollar-cost averaging is not a secret weapon that beats the market. It is a way to stop the guessing from stopping you. Its real home is money you earn as you go, a slice of every paycheck, plus nerves that need protecting. For most working people, that describes their situation exactly. It is a tool for steadiness, not a trick for outperformance. So what did Dana actually do with those $300 a month? Three things, and none of them were complicated. First, Dana chose one simple, broadly diversified index fund, nothing exotic. Second, Dana set up an automatic transfer for the day after every payday, so the investing happens before hesitation gets a vote. Third, and hardest of all, Dana stopped checking market news every single day. The barrel does not read forecasts, it just stands in the weather and catches whatever comes. 2 years of waiting ended with one quiet form and an automatic transfer. Let us put the whole idea in one breath. You cannot predict the market's best days, and they love to hide inside its worst weeks, so stop trying to guess. Buy a fixed amount on a schedule, let the low months quietly buy you extra shares, and accept that no strategy makes risk disappear. Steady beats clever, not because it is brilliant, but because it never misses a shower. And if someone you care about has been waiting for the perfect moment, share this with them. Their barrel could be outside by tonight.